Hello, it's Mio and welcome to my second Inktober video where I'll be doing some more Inktober drawings. In my last video I did day 1 to day 7 and in this video I'm gonna do day 8 to day 14. And we're just gonna go right into it, and the prompt is reckless for day 8. So I start sketching like I did with all the other drawings in my other video, and it's gonna be the theme of this video as well. I'm gonna be sketching first. Although, now looking back at it, maybe it's smart to use a colored pencil, because I do often, when I erase all the lines, see that I have some gaps here and there that I could have filled in with a pen or the fine liner, but I didn't because the fine liner and the pencil look quite similar in color. Anyway, I erased the fire because it was placed weirdly, and the idea of the recklessness here is that it is a scared crow that is warming up by the fireplace, and they're made of straw, so that's kind of reckless. That was the idea. There's a lot of other ideas I could have gone with, but this is the only one that I could come up with at the spot or at the time. I tried to add a lot of texture here and there by adding like the texture or the wood grain or whatever you call it on the little logs that are being burnt in the fire. And then I also tried to add a little bit of texture on the ground so it looks like he is actually in nature. And there are some other places that I actually see now that I could have added more texture if I was just a little bit more focused on that, like on the hat to make it look more like a, you know, like a, I don't know what it's called, like a sun hat that is made out of grass or straw. That could have been cool, but I didn't do that. Wish I had. And maybe added some more elements to him, maybe some more details, and definitely added some more shading because the shading is quite minimal on this drawing. But one thing I do like a lot is that I think he has an adorable face. I think his face is so cute. I tried to make it look like it was stitched a little bit. And then here I'm drawing in the jacket. And yeah, not much else to say. I also do not show absolutely all parts of the process in this video because I did it with the other one and it turned out a little bit long. So I'm trying to cut it out a little bit. Here is the final reckless drawing for day 8. Here is day 9 and the prompt is heavy. Let me take a little break to poke the toes of my cat before we go into the drawing. But the drawing for this one, I try to kind of wrap my brain around what it could be because it can be literally anything. A lot of things are heavy. It could be an elephant, it could be a heavy animal, or it could be like a heavy cube with a face on it. So that's what we're going with. We're going with a cube with a face on it. And to show that it's like a really heavy cube, we're gonna be putting it in this, like, it's being held up by this, I don't know what it's called, like a belt, not a belt, it's stronger than a belt, and then we're gonna add some chains that is holding it up. So the idea was that it was like a big lift machine that was lifting it up, but I didn't want to draw the machine, so we're just adding the straps and then hoping that the point gets across. I don't know why, but I feel like cubes in general, they kind of represent heaviness, you know? Or to me at least. Let me know if you agree. Anyway, we're going in with a face because I didn't just want to make a heavy cube. I wanted a face on it, and I just add a very basic face to it. Oh, and here's another break just because I wanted to show you my view of when I'm drawing, because my cats are just always standing there and staring at me at all times. It's lovely. Here I'm already going in with some fine liners. And I only use 2 fine liners for all of these drawings pretty much, and it is a 0.2 and a 0.3. I hope I'm not lying, I think so. One of them is a Copic liner that I am using right now, and the other one is like a Staedtler or whatever it's called. Yeah, there it is, 0.3, I'm not lying. Anyway, this drawing is super simple, so the only thing I really needed for it, for the shading, is just very simple cross-hatching to show that it is a 3-dimensional cube and not a flat drawing. Or it is a flat drawing, but we're trying to get the 3 dimensions into it so it looks more polished and finished. Here's the cross-hatching action. It's very nice, if I do say so myself. It's not too bad. And then we add some extra shading here and there to kind of make it look like there is another like side light hitting it from the side that is not nearly as strong as the other light. We give the cube some blush because why not? Here's a cat running over the drawing. Anyway, this is the finished result. We're going to the next one, which is prompt for day 10, and that is sweep. This one was easy because the only thing I could think of was like an animal sweeping. And then I got kind of inspired by Peter Rabbit, and I wanted to draw like kind of like his mom, but not exactly, because she had like very big bulky dress, and I wanted the dress to be a little bit shorter to show little feet, because I think that's cute. So we're going with a very like rounded body, very rounded figure of a bunny, and then we add like the legs before I decide how long I want the dress to be. And I want it to look kind of old school, a little bit vintage, but it is going to be in black and white though, so not completely vintage, I guess. I kind of wish it was in color though, to be honest, because it would be really cute in color. We are already going in with the fine liners, and on this drawing I really wanted to focus on fur and fur texture and the right direction, like fur direction of, or whatever you call that. So I started by making the eye really adorable, because we need that in our lives. And then here I go in with very, very thin, quick lines for the fur, and I'm trying to kind of keep in mind where the direction of the fur would be. I should definitely have looked at a reference picture or something for this, but I did not want to. So the fur, you can see, is kind of clashing together, especially where I'm drawing right now. Pretty bad. But it doesn't look too terrible, to be honest. So just ignore that, ignore the bad direction of the fur, and concentrate on how nice this broom turned out, because this broom turned out pretty nicely. I mean, it's very simple and it's just a bunch of lines, but it's a good broom. Anyway, here we are coloring in the shoes, which is pretty much the last little detail, except for like a little bit of extra heaviness in some lines, because I want there to be like very simple shading on this. So I add very simple like extra lines here and there to make things a little bit thicker and a little bit darker, and some very, very simple, not even cross-hatching, but just lines. And this is it. This is the final little bunny, sweeping bunny. And then we're moving on to the next prompt, which is day 11, and this is gonna be sting. The only thing I could really think about for sting was like a bee sting, or in this case like a hornet that is stinging you. So I start again, of course, by sketching, and then I try to make the hornet look like it's about to sting somebody. So I kind of twist and turn the body, and I'm also looking at references, by the way, of hornets stinging, because I have no idea how bug anatomy works. Although I do find bugs really pretty and I do like to draw them, I just don't get it. Anyway, I do not want the hornet to be stinging an arm. I want the hornet to be stinging a whole person. So kind of like impaling them with their stinging stick or whatever you call it. So here's a little lady getting stabbed, or maybe it's a really big hornet. Probably a big hornet, not a tiny lady. That would make more sense. And yeah, I don't know. The thought process here was a little bit strange and a little bit quick. I maybe should have thought a little bit more about things before I just went in with it. But we didn't, and sometimes that creates my best work. This is not my best work though. Just prefacing that this is fine. This is fine. Anyway, legs. We need to add the legs, and then I really do wish that I added more or recorded more of me shading this. Because the shading on the butt, I think, looks really good. I really like that aspect of it. And then here's the shading of the body. Here's a finished result. 11-day sting, done. So day 12 is shredded. And this could go, either way. It could be shredded cheese or like shredded chicken. But what I wanted to do was somebody who was shredded. So somebody muscular. And I really wanted to like continue with the animal theme that I've had throughout many of the drawings, in especially this video. So I will be drawing something that I consider quite adorable and making it a little bit shredded. So we're going with this very nice like ferret looking animal. I think it is a ferret, like a wild ferret. I'm not sure. Maybe it's called something else, or it's not completely a ferret. because it is like a wild one. I found like a wild picture. And I don't know what they're called in English, and I apologize for that, and I apologize for my especially bad English today. But anyway, he's getting like one shredded arm. That's it. Otherwise, he's just cutesy and adorable. Which I thought was hilarious. That was kind of like, you know, the idea behind it. And this one is also going to be having a lot of fur, but thankfully I have a reference photo for the fur here, so the fur is going to be a little bit more consistent. Hopefully, you can be the judge of that. And then they also have like white bellies, so I tried to make that scene also in the texture that I make later. So I make the texture a lot lighter on the chest and a lot heavier everywhere else. And then I also add this very nice vein to the arm that I'm adding in right here. I really like this vein. This vein is my best work so far. Yeah, here's the fur, which was probably my favorite part to draw on this drawing. Although the hand is probably my favorite part of the drawing. The shredded arm, that is. Here is the final day 12 shredded drawing. Now we're moving on to day 13, which is drink. And again, following an animal theme, and it's going to be a little rat-like thing. I don't remember what these are called, and I also didn't look up a reference picture. I just kind of remembered vaguely like this kind of a mouse-ish rat, which I felt like would fit a cowboy, because I wanted the animal to be a cowboy. So it is like a cowboy rat thing at the bar at a saloon having a little drink. That is the concept for this one. It's probably my favorite one of these 7 days that are in this video, because I just think it's so damn cute, and I think he turned out adorable. And I had a lot of different textures to kind of play with, such as the fur, and then he also has like a vest that I wanted to make darker, so that one is, yeah, like almost black, so I have some shading opportunity. I also think his hat turned out really good, and also he has more of a depth in his atmosphere because he has something in the background as well, which almost none of my other drawings have, so I like that a lot. Overall, just a successful drawing. Here I've started on a little bit of texture for the bottle of the very cool drink that he's drinking. I don't know what it is, but it is definitely not very safe because it has X's on it. And then here's some more texture, which is going to be the fur. And then later on I also do some texture on the table, which I've already lined out. And then there's going to be texture on his clothes as well. So a lot of texture here. Here I'm working on some contrast by making his clothes a little bit darker in some places. Then here I finished the table and I'm doing some shading, and that is it. Here is the finished drawing of my favorite drawing, day 13 drink. And now it is time for day 14, the last one over here, which is trunk. This one was hard for me because there's a lot of things that can be a trunk, right? It can be a swim trunk, it can be a trunk of a tree, it can be an elephant trunk, it can be like one of these chests that are called trunks. It can be so many different things. So at the beginning I was like, okay, I'm gonna combine at least 3 of these or 4 of these. I'm gonna make a trunk that has a tree trunk and then an elephant trunk as well. And then the elephant trunk is holding swim trunks. But then I was like, no, that is messy, that is crazy, slow down. Let's just add 2 of these elements. So it's gonna be an elephant that has a trunk, but I felt like I had to add the face because otherwise it's gonna look a little bit weird, because that's what I did in the other sketch and it didn't work out well. And then I'm gonna have a tree trunk that is gonna be the neck. And then I'm gonna kind of combine these two. I want the wrinkles of the elephant to become like the tree trunk. I also considered just using tree trunk and then combining it with the head of a zebra, because I felt like the stripes of the zebra would fit very well with like the lines of the tree. But in the end I decided on an elephant just to get, you know, the trunk of an elephant in there as well. Here you see me merging the like tree trunk lines with the elephant. The ear was kind of in the way, so I kind of tried to bypass the ear a little bit to make it fit better. I don't know how well that worked, but I hope it worked relatively alright. I also tried to have no ear and just the face of an elephant, which is kind of what I'm doing here, but I wanted like the form of the ear to be included because I felt like it looked a little bit better, otherwise it looked a little bit strange. So drawing the wrinkles on the elephant trunk was really fun, but I cut most of it out because you could not even see what I was doing because my hand was in the way. I need to start holding the pen a little bit differently, I think. Anyway, here I'm shading the tree a little bit, and that is it. Here's the final result of the trunk drawing. So this is it for these 7 drawings from day 8 to day 14, and I'll be showing the next 7 days again in 7 days. And I'm gonna try to keep on schedule. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked it, and I'll see you again next week. Goodbye.